Hello everyone, I'm Yazan Ibrahim, or as some of you might know me, Yazan Abu Ghosh. Today we're going to dive into a fascinating and essential topic, Fraud Examiners Section 1, Financial Transactions and Fraud Schemes. 1.8 Identity Theft. Welcome to today's deep dive into the world of fraud, where we'll explore the identity theft, perpetrators of identity theft, victims of identity theft, methods of committing identity theft, types of identity theft schemes, how identity thieves steal information, methods of preventing identity theft, how to respond to identity theft. Whether you're an aspiring fraud investigator, a business owner, or simply curious about how organizations manage their finances, or if you are auditor, this journey will shed light on the often complex systems that drive decision making. Identity theft is one of the most persistent and insidious crimes of our time, a crime that hides in the shadows and strikes indiscriminately. Picture this. A retiree checks their bank statement only to find their life savings dwindling without explanation, or a college student excitedly applies for their first credit card only to be rejected due to debts they didn't accrue. This is the world of identity theft, where anyone, from a seasoned attorney to a business, from children to seniors, can become a victim. At its core, identity theft is the act of stealing another's personal information and using it fraudulently for economic gain. Imagine your most personal details, your name, government ID number, address, or email, falling into the hands of a stranger who uses them to pose as you. These thieves may open credit card accounts in your name, take loans, or even drain your existing accounts without your knowledge. But who are these perpetrators? The perpetrators of identity theft come from diverse backgrounds. While many are career criminals or members of organized crime groups from regions such as China, Nigeria, or Russia, others could be as close to home as a co-worker, a family member, or an acquaintance. For example, in cases of business identity theft, an insider, like an employee, vendor, or associate, is often the culprit. Sometimes people engage in identity theft to hide their immigration status or criminal records, with undocumented individuals fabricating identities to avoid detection. This crime's reach spans from the shadowy underbelly of international networks to the seemingly mundane interactions of daily life. Now, let's delve into the specific groups most targeted by identity thieves. It's like identifying fragile fortresses. Each type of victim has unique vulnerabilities that identity thieves exploit. 1. Children. Identity thieves view children as blank slates. A child's credit history doesn't exist, making it the perfect foundation for building fake identities. An identity thief might use a child's social security number, create fraudulent credit accounts, and rack up debt with no immediate detection. Often the theft isn't discovered until years later, say when that child applies for financial aid or a credit card as a young adult. Heartbreakingly, the culprits are sometimes close family members who exploit a trust that the victim doesn't yet understand. 2. Seniors. Imagine an aging grandparent still living independently but unfamiliar with the fast-paced changes of the digital age. Seniors are prime targets for identity theft because they often have significant savings, may not keep a close eye on their credit reports, and sometimes depend on caregivers who might exploit them. For seniors living in assisted facilities or dealing with diminished mental capacity, the risk is even greater. Compounding this, many seniors feel humiliation or helplessness, making them less likely to report these crimes. 3. Military members. Picture a soldier stationed overseas, preoccupied with deployment and unable to monitor their credit history closely. Identity thieves understand these logistical challenges and often target military personnel. The result is often long-term damage, with fraud going undetected for years, complicating soldiers' re-entry into civilian life. 4. The deceased. The idea might seem macabre, but fraudsters exploit the identities of the deceased because they're unable to monitor their finances or defend themselves. Thieves may gather personal details from public obituaries or even tombstones, posing as the deceased to take out loans or access financial accounts. Family members burdened with grief are often unaware of the need to close these accounts promptly. 5. College students. Young, inexperienced, and often unaware of the risks of identity theft, college students present an enticing opportunity. They're more likely to leave personal information exposed, avoid checking their reports, or fall for phishing scams. Like children, their lack of credit history can also pave the way for long-term exploitation. The methods of identity theft are as varied as the crime's victims. Broadly speaking, identity theft falls into two categories: traditional identity theft and synthetic identity theft. In traditional identity theft, the fraudster outright steals and poses as another individual, leveraging their legitimate information to access existing financial accounts, open new credit lines, or even gain medical services. This can range from account takeovers, where an existing account's address is changed to block the victim's notifications, to true name fraud, where entirely new accounts are created in the victim's name. Synthetic identity theft, by contrast, involves creating an entirely new, but counterfeit, identity by combining real and fabricated information. For instance, a fraudster might take a legitimate social security number, but pair it with someone else's birth date and name to create a fictitious persona. Over time, they use this synthetic identity to build robust credit histories, eventually allowing them to rake in enormous payouts from loans or scams. The damage can take years to uncover, as it is often buried in credit subfiles, leaving the original victims puzzled and frustrated when problems come to light. To understand the multifaceted nature of the crime further, let's look at common schemes that fraudsters use. Financial identity theft. By far the most prevalent type, this involves access to financial resources. From stealing someone's credit card number for purchases to opening brand new accounts in their name, financial identity theft ranges from small, discrete thefts to larger, more elaborate schemes with devastating effects. Criminal identity theft. Imagine being pulled over for a minor traffic violation only to learn you have a warrant for a crime you didn't commit. That's the nightmare victims of criminal identity theft endure when fraudsters use their identities during police encounters, leaving them tangled in legal complications. Medical identity theft. This scheme isn't just financially ruinous, it can be life-threatening. When fraudsters use stolen information to receive medical treatments or prescriptions, the victim's medical records can become compromised. Incorrect diagnoses can delay critical treatments, inflate insurance rates, and endanger lives. Tax and employment identity theft. Fraudsters frequently use stolen identities to file fake tax returns, claim strangers as dependents, or even impersonate someone to land a job. Thank you for watching, and as always, continue learning. Stay curious, and we'll see you next video.